Across the region, people marked the May Day holiday, or International Workers' Day, with marches and demonstrations. In the Moldovan capital Chisinau, several thousand people marched in a parade organized by the Communist and Socialist parties. Socialist Party supporters carried banners backing Moldova's accession to the Russian-led customs union. Members of both parties called for the dismissal of Moldova's current government. In Armenia, members of the Communist Party also marched in support of their country's planned accession to the Russian-led customs union. The march through Yerevan ended in front of the Russian embassy. Participants delivered a letter expressing their support for joining the trade bloc, which currently includes Russia, Belarus, and Kazakhstan. In Kyrgyzstan, kids and adults took part in races in the capital Bishkek, marking International Workers' Day. The games were organized by the office of Bishkek Mayor Kubanichbek Kulmatov, who competed in a bicycle race. In the Afghan capital Kabul, members of a national grouping of labor unions called on the government to defend workers' rights, implement safety standards, and help reduce unemployment. The demands for greater protection for workers came a day after a coal mine collapsed in northern Afghanistan, killing at least 18 miners. In Azerbaijan, police scuffled with youth activists in front of a court in Baku during the final hearing in the cases of 8 opposition activists. 4 people were briefly detained. 8 members of the NIDA opposition youth movement are facing charges including organizing mass unrest and possessing illegal drugs and weapons. They say the charges are politically motivated. In Peshawar, northwest Pakistan, religious parties organized a Grand Jirga, or assembly of tribal elders, to discuss peace efforts in the region. The participants called for an end to government military operations against the Taliban, saying that talks with militants are the only way to reach a peaceful solution. Also in Pakistan, unknown attackers set off explosives, damaging 2 primary schools and a health clinic during the night in Mohmand tribal district. Schools in Pakistan's tribal regions are the frequent targets of attacks by extremists. In Iraq, election officials were counting votes a day after the country's general election. The voter turnout was reported at around 60%. Preliminary results are not expected for at least 2 weeks. The vote will determine whether Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki is re-elected for a 3rd term. And that's the video roundup from Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty.